back. Welcome back. Welcome back every Monday. It is indeed Monday, start of the week. And this is officially race week of F1. Saudi Arabia is this Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should be live for that. First race was absolutely good to watch along for that. But now we're officially done with race week. Hopefully, we don't have another 1-2 week sabbatical. Hopefully, we race the week. Hopefully, we race next week and the week after that. The crazy thing is, I have to admit to you guys, I don't know if I really told you guys this. I really like F1. I don't know if I really like Vision, but I really, really like F1. I never really thought that. And this was me. See, this is our third year, or second full year. This is our second full year doing it. And look at where we are now, man. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Cannot thank you guys enough. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support, love, and just gratitude you guys show me with these F1 videos. But on that note, hope you guys are doing good. Nigel Mansell, F1 champion. Crazy thing was, my man won an F1 championship. And then goes to IndyCar. Basically saying, listen, I did what I need to do in F1. I got my championship. Let me go to IndyCar. And wins it the following year. Who's built like that? Who is doing that? Who's winning an F1 championship? Then the following year going to IndyCar winning that. Talk about driver just qualities like that. That's just goated. That is so tough to do. It's absolutely amazing. But we did. I did ask you guys yesterday. We're going to a video 2 years ago. Just about like the whole difference between the F1 and IndyCar. You guys really did a great job of explaining that, highlighting that, showcasing that. But you are going to see Nigel Mansell's point of view. He's going to give us the whole full get-go. Looking forward to it. Should be a good one. Should be a great one. Don't forget to like the video and sub as well as always. If you guys are watching videos and you guys have not subscribed, make sure you guys do subscribe. Also turn your notifications on. So when you know when your boy goes live, drops videos, and whoop, all of that. Anyway, let's get started, man.
In front of us now is
look at the stash
race car for the Indy World Series. If I can just walk you around it,
talk to us,
I'll
Nigel.
point out some fundamental differences that we have from a Formula One car. Straight away, I think what we'd like to do is start in the middle of the car and then we'll move forward. As you can see here, this is the main refueling tank, which depresses in there if I've got enough strength. And they basically put 28 to 38 gallons of fuel in there, depending on when you pit stop, of course, and it's all gravity fed. Through here, you have a breather on the other side.
Also, thank God they got rid of the fuel, man. That's, dude. Oh, jeez. Thank God they got rid of that. That was just, like, I think to me, it's just, if they crash and stuff like that, like, all that fuel in the car, and if they crash really hard, because I think it's my mission as well. They had like concrete walls. They didn't really have like, like the safety wall stuff like that. They had like actual like concrete, like hard ass walls back then. So we hit that bad boy full on, man. Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, this is an important part here. This is the air jack, and obviously it plugs in here, lifts the car up. You've got to be very careful to keep your feet out of the way. Normally when we're in the pits, Kenny, who does it, will actually say coming down, and you've got to make sure you're out of the way. Mainly because this car is another 500 pounds heavier than a Formula One car. Formula One car, if it's down to the weight limit, is about 500 kilograms. These, they weigh in at 720 kilograms.
Jeez!
Moving across to the front now, some other vital bits of equipment on this car, which is very different to a Formula One. Bearing in mind that this car now is prepared for an oval circuit. This is an incredible headrest, which is very, very firm indeed. And then this fuel meter here is very, very important. I'm just about to zero it for you. You've got 44.9 there now.
Zoom in.
Zero it. Every time you come into the pit, you have to zero it. And then you have an actual sticker which will come on here for the race, which will actually show you when you have to pit if there's no yellow flags. Goes without saying, if there's yellow flags, the team manager will actually call you in if he thinks there's a window to come in, which might be better to actually sort of try and win the race and try and sort of do a bit of trickery.
What happened to my guy in the back?
On the steering wheel,
He on crutches. Hey, he's playing some game now. He talking to that lady.
Obviously the radio and radio is very important for IndyCar racing, far more than Formula One, because of the yellow flag situation again. This little trick device, obviously it's only a switch here, but this switch, if you push it to the left, will actually jack the rear right height of the car up, which will basically put cross weight into the car. Equally, if you push it to my right, the other way, it will jack it down. What that does, if you've got an oversteering car, you have a possibility of upwards of 50 pounds cross weight in the car to adjust it yourself while you're running. And on an oval, this little piece of equipment is very, very important. Okay, well, we're just about to show you the thing that's given me probably the biggest consternation of the last 4 years, which of course is the gear lever. I haven't had one in the Williams for a few years, and this is the magic device, which all cars have, and you just got to get used to it again. That knob is the actual knob I used when last time I used to change gear in
okay, I was thinking that.
'88.
I was thinking that.
So a little bit of nostalgia there. It's the actual same knob that I won quite a few races with the Williams team. This little knob here is for the brakes.
I'll say this. Nigel just seemed like that's a guy you can just kick back with, open up a couple of beers, drinks, whatever, and this dude could tell you about racing all day if he could. Like from sun to sundown, he could just tell you about just racing, car specs, car, like just stuff about cars in general. Like he just seemed like a guy who could just do that, man. Like he's like he knows what the hell he's talking about. I mean, of course you have to. Obviously, we're driving these cars for so long since you're a kid, stuff like that. Yeah, you should know what the heck you're talking about. But he just smooth voice, just
Anti-clockwise instead of clockwise to go to the front. Okay, the roll bar here, you push in and to the front to go soft, and the rear roll bar is set in the soft position already. You have to push it in and pull it back. Very difficult to do it when the car is standing still, especially when it's all preloaded. So, but those are the two roll bars which can alter the settings of the car. Well, along the front, what I'd like to show you is the suspension. The one thing that you can see, especially on an oval, is how strong everything is. Everything's very, very solid.
That boy's sturdy.
It has to be because
that
of the
boy's
G-force
sturdy.
that you're actually pulling. The Lola car especially is, I think, and has been for the last couple of years, the best car to have in IndyCar racing, and I'm very, very comfortable to be driving this Lola this year. Just moving around now to the front, the other fundamental things that we have is the front wing, and we have the availability that when we make a pit stop, we can actually adjust the front wing. So if we have an understeering car or an oversteering car aerodynamically, we have the literally the facility to either turn this in or turn it out. If we've got too much oversteer, then obviously we'll lower this wing just a little bit, 1 or 2 turns.
That's interesting. You guys know me. I really don't know too much about like the whole specs, the makeup of cars, stuff like that. We just watched the races, and I just tell you guys my thoughts on all that stuff like that. But really get into like the its and bitses of the IndyCar, dude. Impeccable. Absolutely impeccable.
If we've got too much understeer, then we'll bring this flap up and give the car a little bit more downforce at the front. Okay, moving back now towards the second half of the car, there's some quite significant differences. Straight away you say, well, what on earth is this thing here? Well, this thing can make a difference if you're winning or losing a race. This is the blow-off valve. This is the valve that regulates the boost to the engine. Yeah, I mean, obviously it goes without saying that the single biggest difference between Formula One engine-wise and IndyCar is the engine, which is turbocharged.
Yeah.
This develops probably a little bit more power than the aspirated engine, and certainly a little bit more torque. You don't feel it too much more because of the weight of the car on acceleration, deceleration. Moving on here, we have the turbocharger housed just in here. We have the wastegate system, and you'd probably say, well, why is all the exhaust enclosed here? And we have air blowing in here and out through the back end. Basically, we try and protect everything within the car because this can get well over 1,000 degrees C. So they house it.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that thing will burn.
Cars, especially on an oval, if one of these pipes come off or just leak, that can cause a major, major accident. Moving to the back of the car completely now, You can see the major difference between an F1 and IndyCar is that the underneath of the car finishes at the axle. As you know, with a Formula One car, the underwing of the car will actually come back almost to the back wishbone or right back to the end of the gearbox. The exhaust system, the wastegate, and the actual bodywork, the underneath of the car, finishes at the center line of the axle here. Okay, as you can see, the camera is now showing you the total underneath of the car. The reason for that is that in a Formula One car, it's a completely flat-bottomed car.
Right.
Now, in an IndyCar series, the cars are allowed to have an underwing, and that's how we generate the downforce. So that's going back to, if you like, the ground effect days of Formula One without the sliding skirts. The underneath of the car generates an awful lot of download. Okay, the incredible thing is with an IndyCar as opposed to a Formula One car is that before you get into an IndyCar at a race meeting on an oval, you think that it's been in an accident already. I mean, if you can see, the whole thing is tilted. If I just move out the way here, can you see? The whole thing is preloaded to the left. And that makes it...
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. I see it like because this, it looks like a tad bit up compared to this side. Right? Yeah.
One, the car's always turning left, which going into the left-hand turns is sort of fairly important. But the problem is, as you come out the turn, to go straight, you must exert a lot of force in the opposite direction to keep the car going in a straight line. The other important thing is how much you preload the left side to the right side, the springs you carry on the right side to the left also, and the cambers that are on the car. It is quite phenomenal, it really is.
Shout out, Nigel. That was absolutely amazing. That was absolutely amazing. That was really interesting. It's really interesting. Like, he broke it down just so smooth, simple, easy. I think the main thing I like was like the gears, like changing gear, stuff like that. You know, them having to like have a drive the car, change gear, stuff like that. But I also like how he mentioned how like the car leans left. So like when they have to like turn, they got really like, you know what I mean? Like they gotta turn that bad boy. Also for the, I just forget what it was called, but that thing which gets like over 1,000, which gets over 1,000 degrees, dude. Very hot, very hot. But anyway, hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you guys did like it, enjoy it. Don't forget to like the video, sub as well. As always, difference between F1 and IndyCar. Talk to you guys later, man. Peace.